I just want people to know that we are capable of so much more, right? Like, did you guys watch Bad Bunny on Sunday? We are capable of more than we think. You are capable of more than what you think and you know. And I just want all of us to know that, myself included. You guys, we did it. We did it, Joe. We did it. Y'all, I did it. I did it. I got my black ass out of the United States. Whew. If you are new to this channel, if this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, welcome, welcome back to me because it's been about maybe 6 weeks since my last video, which I am not going to be hard on myself. I'm actually going to make another video about that titled What Happens When We Don't Meet Our Goals. Because if you're someone like me, you might have in the past refrain from setting goals because you were nervous about not setting them. And I got on YouTube and I said with my chest that I was going to make a video every day for 30 days. And I did do a video every day, maybe for like 2 weeks. But life happened and the holidays came up and just things happened. Things got in the way and it's okay. And I did not decompose. I didn't combust or melt into water because I didn't set a goal that I had said I would. I'm actually still even more encouraged than I was before. So I'm going to make another video about that. But if you are coming back to my channel, welcome back. Welcome back to me. A lot has happened since my last video. And I wanted to get on here and just make a quick video about what my first few weeks moving abroad have been like. It has been a whirlwind of meetings, emotions, tasks, appointments, things like that. And I think now it's been almost a month. It's been actually, I'm looking at my phone, I left 1 month ago from yesterday. So tomorrow it'll be 1 month since I left and I landed the next day. So it's been about a month, and I think like this week sort of feels like I'm finally settling in. The first few weeks were really busy trying to find a place to live, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe I can make another specific video on the specifics of my move because I know it's very different country to country. And with me being in Spain, it might be different than from when other people move to other countries too. So maybe I'll make a video on that. But it's been very hectic, but in a really positive way. And I think I'm finally able to like sort of reflect on some things I've learned. It was also my birthday last week. I turned 35, which is really cool. I know that my 35th birthday will be something I remember forever because something I like my turn 35 right after I moved abroad for the first time. So I wanted to just make this quick video with some of my reflections. I took some notes. I'm going to look at my phone, but I just want to talk about the things that I'm noticing the most in my first 3 weeks since I moved abroad. Let me pull up my notes, which I should have done beforehand. Okay. Okay. So these are the things I'm noticing as an American who has just moved abroad 3 weeks ago. Okay. The first one, and this is the biggest one, it is a big world, and America is not the center of it. Okay. American exceptionalism is so loud. It is so loud. And I almost, the word pity seems really not right. I can't think of another word, but I know I had this sort of moment where I was, I am in Madrid and I'm just one day was, downtown, or I don't even know, in an area of the city that I'm exploring. And Madrid is such a big city. It's such a beautiful, diverse city. And something just hit me like this world is so big. Like this is a huge modern city with a beautiful train system, wonderful people, beautiful parks, beautiful architecture, delicious food. There are people from all over the world, which I'm loving about living here so far. There are some people from the Americas, North America, South America, different people from Europe. I actually met the coolest person my first day here. He was from Amsterdam, and I just was like, I sort of felt like it was a sign that I'm going to meet really great people here. That was definitely one of my motivations for moving abroad, just knowing that there's so many people in the world who just have lived so many different experiences from me, and connecting with them and learning with them is so fulfilling to me. So, yeah, I just had this moment where I'm like, wow, it's a huge world. It is a huge world, and America is not the center of it. And one thing that I think is difficult with Americans, maybe because of the geography or also just because of the way that we are taught about the world and about America's place in it. It's very intimidating. It just doesn't even really seem like an option for most Americans to ever consider moving abroad. And I think that, I'm only 3 weeks in, but I already know that this experience is so fulfilling. Even traveling outside of the country is so incredibly fulfilling. So, yeah, it's a big world, and America is not the center of it, okay? I talk to some of the kids I work with, and they have their own interests. Like, obviously American media is very big in the world, and they do like certain things. Like, they love Stranger Things. They like, this is an American, they love K-pop. So that's not a great example, but they like Harry Potter. But then also, there are things that they've just never heard of that are like very common in America. Like, an example is sports. They love soccer here. They do not care about basketball. They do not care about American football. And yeah, I love it. And I think it's just like very humbling's not the right word, but maybe it would be very humbling for a lot of Americans to go someplace else and sort of recognize that, okay, wow, like, people literally live their own lives and they have their own interests, and America is not the center of it, and that's okay. People like are living very fulfilling lives without ever learning too much about America or ever needing to travel there. Yeah, it's a big world. The second one is that living abroad is hard, and this is not real life vacation, okay? It has been a very challenging 3 weeks since I got here. I want to be honest that the first few weeks especially, and I think certain days are going to be harder than others. I made a Substack post. I think it was like my 6th day here, and it was the first day I was in my new apartment. So maybe it was like, actually no, it was longer than 6 days, but it was my first day in my new apartment, and I was like, I just couldn't stop crying. And I think I just like, it hit me that I left my family and I left everything I knew to move somewhere new, which is very challenging. And yeah, but it's at the same time very fulfilling. But just an observation, like, moving abroad is not constant vacation. You have to, work and learn things and like and get into a daily ritual, for lack of a better word, a daily routine, right? So like, I live here, I work here, I do dishes here, I do my laundry here. It's real life, and it's hard because there are adjustments. But when you move abroad, it's not like when you take a vacation abroad, you don't live in a hotel and there aren't people who are clean up after you. I mean, maybe in certain tax brackets there are, but not in the one that I'm currently in. The next thing is that the language barrier is very humbling. It's teaching me patience. It's very, very challenging. And I say this as someone who fortunately did have the chance to study Spanish, all the way through college, but that was a minute ago. And it's been some time since I practiced my Spanish. So coming here and trying to speak a new language, I think one of the most like humbling things is, just doing simple things and like looking like an idiot. I was just texting my family that my first day at work, I went to a cafe around the corner and I tried to order a coffee, and my brain just was not working. You can study how to say things so many times, but once you get in person and try and, practice with someone, that's the only way to practice is real life. And people will say things that aren't like written in the textbook for what the response is, or you might just forget the word. So that's happening to me a lot. And it's very humbling. But I think also the same way, it's like a vulnerability that I've never really like dove into before. So I think it's also, I keep using the word rewarding, but it's very rewarding, but very humbling. And it's teach me patience, right? I learned this phrase today, poco a poco, little by little, I will learn and I'll get better. But in the meantime, it's definitely something that is humbling, very much so. This sort of goes along with this next one, but I said moving countries is basically rejection therapy on expert mode. So, very similarly to the language barriers, I've fallen on my face, like not literally, but figuratively, and embarrassed myself so many times since I've been here. This morning, I took the wrong bus to work. I didn't know how to communicate with the person on how I could get off the bus. I had to get on a new bus, and then my zone was wrong. So it was just very, I'm gonna say like embarrassing for a few seconds. Definitely like a lot of rejection, but then afterwards I was really proud of myself for figuring it out. So sometimes you have to fall on your face that you can get back up and then you learn. That's how you learn that you can trust yourself and you can figure things out. So that's been really interesting so far. In that same note, I want to say, everything is different. Like when you move to a new country, like culture, I think is so broad that it's hard to like pinpoint what exact things are different. But something I've even noticed is even the pace of walking. So I take the metro here and I lived in the New York City area. I lived in New Jersey in the United States. So I took the train frequently. And even the way that we walk to the train is different. In New York, there's a lot of like walking really fast to cut people off and like get to a place as fast as you can. But in Spain, they really, I guess, respect lines here. So I had to like sort of stop myself for a second and like not try and cut people off or remember that it's not a race to get to places. People respect lines here, which I really respect too. But that's just something that's like very little, but it's like everything you can think of is different from the way people interact with one another, rules about grocery stores, the time that the banks are open, experience at the cell phone store, like very little things, but everything is different. So if you're preparing to move abroad, just know like every single thing, probably things that you're not even thinking about, are going to be different. Obviously, I'm adjusting. That's what humans do. We adjust and we adapt. But so I think right now I'm just like sort of sitting with like, wow, so much more is different than I thought it would be. And it's a cool thing because you learn that people can live their lives different ways and still be happy, and like countries can be totally different and still get along and have successful lives, and people can live meaningful lives in different places. But yeah, everything is different. Okay. Now, this is something that I want to talk about sort of America and what's happening there. And I don't want to get too in the weeds because it will drag me down. But I will say, I sort of, when I tell people I'm from the United States, people are sort of looking at me like, oh, really? And I've actually had some of the kids I work with ask me about our president. So, yeah, people do not blame Americans for the actions of the government, but people are definitely paying attention and eyes are on this big country that's across the water. People are asking me pretty much daily about how I feel being an American. And fortunately, those people are not like holding me accountable for what's going on. But people are paying attention. So I just think that's really important. Um, now that I've moved, I've always been so grateful for my friends, my family, my loved ones, but moving abroad really just sets it in even more. And I think I'm al almost worried because I'm so appreciative of the people who are reaching out to me. It literally means so much to me every time someone sends me like a just checking in message, or I posted on Instagram for the first time in like over a year and people were reaching out to me and following up with me. And it just means so much, you guys, like just to have people that are cheering for me and telling me that I'm inspiring them or just like wishing me luck and sending me love. It means so much. So, so much. So, with my move abroad, I'm just so reflective of like how much my people and my community mean to me. And I'm also really, I mean, I think I did this in the United States too, but I think when you move abroad, it's another level because now I'm like I didn't come here to seek out Americans, but I definitely am. Because I work with Americans because of the nature of my job, I'm like so grateful for them. And like, I think some days when I'm having a really difficult day and I'm like, everything's different, I feel like an idiot. It's really, really nice to have a group of people who I can sort of like talk about what I'm experiencing with, or like maybe why I'm stressed about something because it's different. So I'm so, so grateful for the people who I love and who are my friends and my family. And I say the reason I said I'm stressed is because I'm with the time change, I do feel like I'm sort of getting bad at responding. Like the hours are weird or I'm just responding like at 2 a.m. their time. I mean, I guess it's just an adjustment, but I'm so appreciative and I hope that people still reach out to me. I'm gonna still reach out to them. Okay, one other thing about the US, actually a few things. Well, one last thing about the US. Learning moving here, and I knew this because I had traveled abroad and I have lived in other countries for short stays. I did a summer abroad when I was in college, so that was some time ago. But being black is a global experience. Being a black person is a global experience. Um, you know, this is a different video because it's so nuanced and I don't want to like sort of try and say all of this on one bullet point, but being black is a thing, whether or not you are in the US or Spain or Asia or anywhere in Europe. Anti-blackness is global, and for that reason, you're going to have a black experience anywhere you are. And I say black, maybe, and I don't mean like black American. I just mean like I'm a black person. I am an African American. My ancestors come from Africa, and anti-blackness is real. It's global. Um, However, the racism in the United States is on another level. It's another level, and I'm gonna do a video on like my nervous system and how I'm trying to learn to heal my nervous system, because I think that I'm reflecting on how much trauma there is like stored in my body just from being a black person, so just from, witnessing police and neighbors shoot black people in their homes my whole life. Um, that's trauma on our bodies over time. And so, again, I just got here. I just got to a different country, but I think that so far what I'm experiencing is that yes, being black is a global experience. There are not a lot of black people in Spain or in Europe, for that matter, obviously. Maybe I guess maybe compared to where I came from. But the racism in the United States is a whole nother level. Yeah. And on that note, I'd say another reflection of mine is that no country is perfect, right? I'm not seeking a perfect country. I know the reality of governments and country states and how they were formed. Like, I know that moving to any country, that especially that was like a colonial power, obviously brings with it, issues of hierarchy and racism and colorism and things like that. So my goal wasn't to find another perfect place to live. I don't believe that there's any perfect place. And yeah, I'm not chasing anything perfect, but I'm chasing something different and something more expansive. And that feels good. And then my last two are more about reflections of myself. And this one is cemented in me. It's been so cemented in me, I think, for the last year, especially. And I did another video about this, because I think the concept is so important and I could talk about it all day. But befriending yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do. And that is really, really instilled in me right now as I've moved to a country where I don't know people and I truly know no one. Like right now, I do know some people, but a few weeks ago, I knew no one. And being able to know that even when I'm lonely and even when I don't know anyone here, I know myself and I can have fun with myself and I can take myself out and go do fun things and enjoy it by myself. That is so powerful, and it's been so powerful for me, and I do think it's the only reason why I'm able to, maybe not the only reason, but like one of the very, very huge reasons why I am able to stick this out is because I know that I'm always going to enjoy my company. Like I can go anywhere in the world and I enjoy me. I have a good time. I can find a book, I can watch a movie, I can go outside, go to a museum, walk my dog, and I'm going to have a good time because I enjoy my company. And yeah, just befriending yourself is a game changer and truly one of the most powerful things that we can do. And then my last one is that choosing an authentic life on your own terms is deeply, deeply fulfilling. And this is something I'm just scratching the surface of. And I think, reflecting on it and talking about it it's going to seep deeper and deeper into me. But I'm really starting to recognize that we are the only people or persons who can who can live our most authentic life, right? And like I think so much of my 20s, and I know this is talked about online a lot, so much of my 20s was built trying to build a life that was sort of like prescribed to me, and I think the life that most people around me were living. And for a long time, I felt that I wanted something different, whether or not it be work or my living circumstances, so many things. I just was like, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't fit me. But I was waiting for permission or for someone to tell me, or just for something to happen that allowed me to go live a different life. When the reality is, I'm the only person that can build that authentic life. And yeah, it's right. So I'm saying it's deeply fulfilling. Like I've made the decision that I'm going to live life the way I want my life to look like, and that's different than what I've seen in my family and my friends on TV. I am, thank God for YouTube and for the internet, because I do think that being able to see and be in touch, or like, witness people who are living lives that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want this. I could only dream of it though. But now, because I'm able to see people, and well, I've seen people do it, but more than that, I am brave enough to take that first step and like live my life the way I want it. And that's where I am right now. And I think that's this journey I'm on with YouTube, with content creation, with my brand I'm building. It's scary, and I don't really have like the prescribed route to do it, but I have to, because I want to live my life the way I want to live it. And like it's my life, and we only have one life to live. So I'm just scratching the surface of this one, like I said, but I just already feel, and I know that like when I hit my next step, like once I get monetized on YouTube, and like once I start to really get my clients up and I really launch this brand, it's gonna be even more and more fulfilling. And I'm so inspired by some women in my circle who are also doing that. So I just want to shout out those ladies too, because in the last year, I also have been like really in touch with people both in America and also here. I think Americans who move abroad are really on that page of like, oh no, I want to live my life the way I want to live it. It's like very different than what we're told we should do in America. Like you're never really told you should move abroad as an American. Um, so yeah, those are my reflections on my first 3 weeks here. I don't want this video to be too long, but I just wanted to come on here and like sort of, speak on my reflections, and maybe if someone is considering moving abroad, this might be helpful. And yeah, I'm going to continue to make my content and grow this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed conversations about life, growth, having an open mindset, trying new things, moving abroad, that's what this channel is about. That's what my brand is about. I just want people to know that we are capable of so much more, right? Like, did you guys watch Bad Bunny on Sunday? We are capable of more than we think. You are capable of more than what you think and you know. And I just want all of us to know that, myself included, honey, okay? Because this, each time I come on here and I'm talking about it, I'm speaking truth to power to me, okay? Y'all, thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, give it a thumbs up, hit follow. We're growing the channel. Your girl's back. I know YouTube, it's been a minute, so YouTube might not even put this video in front of two people, but we're gonna keep moving, we're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna keep growing. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.